Back in the chair, ready to go again.
So here I am back in the chair in Connie's office, and as you can see, the brows are all natural, nothing on them at all. They have color, they have definition. It is like night and day from where I started. But as Connie says, this is a process, and so this is now my third visit here, and at this point it's just fine-tuning and tweaking and just making them a little bit fuller. Whenever I pencil or shadow, I will come in just a little bit toward the bridge of the nose, and I will extend it just a tiny bit out there. So really we're just finessing at this point, and that's what she said initially. She said it's not one-stop shopping, it's a process. It may take 2 or 3 times to get them exactly as you want them, and it's a personal choice. So here I am personally in her chair. What are we doing on round 3?
Okay, on round 3, basically there's less work to do than sessions 1 and 2, but it's a time to adjust any color changes. You mentioned that part of your brow is kind of looking a little gray, so we have a color here called Ungray from LI Pigments. It's an awesome color. It kind of helps to balance the color back out. Sometimes people shift to a strange color, but it's minute. It should be minute if you go like conservatively on the first couple of sessions. Then you're adjusting the color. You are addressing the shape issues, like if you want them a little longer, now's the time to do that.
Probably the most important part of this procedure. You don't want to feel little strokes. You can feel like a little ant sting. And then whenever it does, she just puts more lidocaine on. Okay, so tell me about all the blue tape that you're putting on here.
Okay. Basically, this blue tape prevents cross-contamination if you do it correctly. These are all practices that are very important in order for you to stay healthy. And here are all your beautiful little colors. It's the menagerie.
This has been on there for what, a good 20 minutes at least?
Yeah, 20, 30 minutes.
Okay. Are you removing it? I'm sorry, I don't feel anything.
Oh. Good thing, right?
Psych.
So do you feel cold there?
Yes.
Do you feel cold there?
Nope. Alcohol?
Alcohol? Not the fun kind?
I was hoping you'd give me a glass of wine or something.
I wish I could.
Oh, cute ring, Connie.
Thank you, darling. It's my bauble.
You're blending all the colors right there?
Well, I don't want to blend them. I want
you've got
to
them
keep
separate.
them separate, so then when I kind of dip into them as I need to.
Mm-hmm.
Because you remember the multiple colors is what keeps it looking natural. Yeah. Sometimes people can raise their brows.
And sometimes we can't. By design.
Right,
Okay.
exactly. Okay, so I'm just going to stretch you out right here.
I don't feel anything. I didn't feel a thing. So you're bringing them in a little bit
Just
toward the bridge of the nose.
Well, I'm just seeing the old stroke, and I'm just trying to cover it with the ungray to kind of knock that gray off.
Got
I
it.
really didn't come in further. That the old stroke was there.
Oh, I see. So you've gone on top of
Yeah,
that.
just on top of it a little bit. So you've been trying to get your brows a little bit on the flatter side.
Correct.
And that's good because, babies are born with flat brows, and they only get more arched as we're getting older. So
Right.
when we're in our late teens, 20s, 30s, they have a pretty arch. Then as you get older, they start turning into sea creatures.
Yeah. Well, there's another reason that happens too,
Well,
which is, the Botox placement. And
Right.
so the key, I think, is getting a provider to make it a little bit more natural looking.
yes, you have to have somebody that your injector has to be artistically minded as well.
Correct.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
so the flat brow is really in right now. It's a more youthful looking brow.
Personally, I would like to fill in just a tiny bit under
I agree.
here.
Yep.
Okay.
I agree.
All right.
You're the artist. Your eye sees it. So now you're going a little bit longer.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and so you put a few strokes in here to make it look a little more hair-like. And since she has the background in here from the previous procedures,
Right.
we don't have to put the placement of the strokes so close together now. Now a little bit of gapping between
It's more natural.
makes it look more natural and wispy,
Got it.
not tattooed.
Got it.
Yeah.
That's the artistry coming in.
Yeah, right. And this tends to bend down a little bit, so we're just going to lift that tail up a little bit by taking a stroke right like there.
Great. Nope, there's no news crew in here. It's just me and my iPhone.
Yeah.
We're so high tech. I love it. I love it.
Getting better and
Getting
better.
a little bit
right?
deeper, a little bit longer. It's looking great.
Thank you.
Mm.
How's pain?
I'm good.
This is the Build-A-Brow Network.
As opposed to Build-A-Bear.
Yep.
Whole different concept going on here.
Right there.
See, and that's the key with having an artist do this,
Yeah.
is filling in the gaps artistically, making them uniform and yet natural.
Yeah.
And I think it's important to state too that doing a brow tattoo is perfect on a natural face. I can
Yes.
go out barefaced and feel like I have eyebrows on. But when I'm doing a full face of makeup, I still fill.
Yeah.
I still use some shadow and pencil because you can't do a natural brow with a fully made up face. You
Right.
still have to add some color. So I think it's important that we let people know that this isn't it. You're still going to want to fill with some color to make the brows match the eye makeup, to match the colors and all of that. But I will say my brows now take about 2 minutes as opposed to 10. And that's
Right.
the beauty, because now I have a great line to follow.
Exactly. Like that one.
Like that one. So Connie, people always ask me what to look for because not everybody can come to Houston and visit you. And so I think it would be great for us to put up sort of a list, a top 10 list of
All
things
right.
that people need to investigate when researching a microblading tattoo artist.
Okay. Sterilization is like the top of the list, number one. But like right close behind that is the artistic ability. You may think that's more important, but really it's the most important thing is the sterilization. But the artistic ability is a second. Then somebody that knows, that has an eye for placing the brow, because you may be able to draw a brow great on paper, but knowing what to do with somebody's bone structure, you have to keep going until you find that right spot and have somebody that's willing to spend the time with you to design the brow first and come up with a plan. Pictures are important, and making sure people have original photos, making sure people make you fill out the proper forms.
And then, so let's talk about photos because we're showing now my before and afters.
Yes.
What are your takeaways from where I started and where I am now?
Oh, it's light years from where you started. And you know what I like about our relationship is you know what you're looking for. I know what looks good, but we combine our brains together, and you want somebody that's willing to work with you and give you what you want, but stop you when it's not right.
And so even though we said that this was round 3 and
Yes.
a touch-up, but you made a very clear point that this really isn't a touch-up, but it's the 3rd layer.
Right. It's just the next layer. So, you know, first layers may look more like South Park, you know, but when you put more layers on, then each layer becomes more complex and it looks more realistic if you lay them in right. So, for example, the first strokes may be a little more loose and leggy, not as tight, but then next time you come in, you can put strokes in opposing directions, like the hairs in opposing directions, so that it looks like they kind of blend together and not so succinct, you know?
So here are my finished brows. Ta-da! She did it again. They're perfect with slight imperfection, like she said. And I couldn't be happier. Connie, the fact that I found you and that you came into my life is probably one of the biggest blessings ever. These things have frustrated me since the 1990s, and now I am at peace with my brows. My face feels complete, so I cannot thank you enough.
You're welcome.
I love you.
I love you. Thank you so much. You've changed my world.